Hello from Ignite the Tour London. I'm on my home turf here, but Ignite the Tour is one of these events that's going all over the world. So if you haven't been to one already, then go onto the Microsoft website, look for Ignite the Tour, and you can register for these for free. And they're sort of 2-day events where you get to learn a lot about all of the existing stuff. And people like myself, and of course people from Microsoft, so MVPs, Microsoft staffers, are there presenting. Now, these events don't give you the big announcements, but what they do give you is some of the background knowledge, and there'll be the little odd thing thrown in here and there. So for example, removing the last Exchange server when you move to Office 365, Greg Taylor put in a snippet of information and said, look guys, you're not going to find out the big news on this until later in the year at Ignite. There's not going to be any big announcements in January. So we learned something at least. Outside of Ignite the Tour, though, I want you to come and have a look at one of the latest article series that I published on the site. And this is about Azure AD Connect Cloud Provisioning. So I've written a two-piece article here. And first of all, I wanted to go through how we can set it up, because it's different to Azure AD Connect. Now, Azure AD Connect, you'll install a server on premises. It will do a synchronization job against your Active Directory environments. It'll pull all the information in, store it in a database, connect to Azure AD, and then it'll suck in what's from there and compare what needs to be changed. And if it needs to, it'll go and update attributes in the cloud. And that usually requires a server with 4, maybe more gig of RAM to be able to do that. And of course, that means that if you're in a smaller environment, then it's a big added expense. But it's also hard when you're in a complex environment with lots of Active Directory forests, especially if they're not connected together. Azure AD Connect Cloud Provisioning turns things on its head a bit. Instead of installing a server on-prem, you install agents into each Active Directory forest, and then Azure AD connects to your environment and does the synchronization job. All of the logic lives in the cloud. So I thought we'll set it up and see how it works against 3 different Active Directory forests. Now, one of the things that Microsoft has said it isn't supported is Exchange Hybrid, which is kind of the point when you're doing this kind of stuff. You might want to move emails to the cloud. So I thought I'd give it a go and see how it worked. And it worked, even though it's not supported, but there were some key things missing. We could do a mailbox move, but there were some attributes that weren't written back to on-premises. Now that's expected, it is unsupported, but I wanted to go through that process so you can see whether it does or doesn't work, to give you an idea of how close this is to being something you could use. And when I spoke to Greg Taylor yesterday, who is the Exchange Product Marketing Manager, he wasn't even aware of whether there was any plans to support Exchange Hybrid yet. So it is early in preview, but you can go and play with it today, because if you were considering buying something like Okta to connect all of your separate different Active Directory environments together, then this Azure AD Connect Cloud Provisioning is going to make things a little bit easier. And because it's more complex and it takes a lot of work to set up and get under the hood, then what I've done is I've downloaded some of the stuff, put those on GitHub, so you can have a look at what's called the schema, the list of attributes and how they sync, so you don't have to go through what's quite a complex process if you just want to get a quick taste of how it's set up. Another thing to be of note is that some of the logic inside this doesn't quite work correctly. So if you've got duplicate objects in different directories, which, let's face it, right, if you've got 2 companies have joined together, then there's probably going to be a good chance that somebody's added a contact or added a user for someone in the other organization. Now, one of the problems here is if you've got 2 people, they've got the same email address, it'll just sync them both as 2 separate objects. So again, this is going to be one of those tools that has got a lot more work behind the scenes to finish its development. It is in preview, but it will be really useful when it finally gets launched. So check out Practical 365, have a look at that. And of course, if you've not listened to our new podcast, then take a listen. Siggy and I are recording every single week to bring you the latest news and our views on what's new in Microsoft 365.